Hello and welcome. You know that feeling when your brain is just running a marathon with no finish line? In a world that's buzzing with noise and distractions, what if you could develop the, well, almost superhuman observation skills of Sherlock Holmes to cut right through it all? Here's the thing. It's not a superpower, it's a skill. So let's dive into this and learn how to train your mind to see what pretty much everyone else misses.
But first, let's just start with a question that probably hits pretty close to home for a lot of us. Why is it so hard to just focus anymore?
Does this scene right here feel a little too real? You've got emails pinging, a video's downloading, social media notifications are just constantly buzzing for your attention. It's this non-stop state of chaos. And you know what? If you feel that way, you are definitely not alone. It's the modern condition, really, but it comes at a huge cost.
To get to a Sherlock-level mind, we first have to tackle this beast, our multitasking problem. You know, Sherlock Holmes called the brain a brain attic, a space for storing knowledge. And right now, most of our attics are a complete and total mess. So it's time to declutter. Okay, so this slide right here, it exposes a huge myth. On the left, we see what we think we're doing, juggling everything at once like a pro. But what's actually happening in our brain is on the right. Psychologists call it serial tasking. Your brain is just rapidly, and I mean rapidly, switching focus from one thing to the next. And that constant switching is just exhausting.
And here's the price we pay. A 2001 study by David Meyer found that every single time your brain switches gears, you can lose up to 40% of your potential productivity. 40%! Just imagine getting that time and that energy back into your day.
So the crucial takeaway is this. The very first step isn't some complex mental trick. Nope, it's a simple, conscious choice. Focus on one task and only one task at a time. That's it. That's how we clear out the brain attic and make space for what really, truly matters.
All right, so with a clearer mind, we're ready for our next section, the Observer's Toolkit. Here, we're going to learn the fundamental difference between passively seeing the world around you and actively observing it.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core concept. In the stories, right, Dr. Watson saw the stairs to their apartment every single day. But when Holmes asked him how many steps there were, he had absolutely no idea. Holmes, on the other hand, had observed them. He knew there were 13. See, seeing is passive. Observing is an active, intentional process.
So how do we start observing? Well, with a surprisingly simple tool, field notes. Now, this isn't about writing a novel. It's the simple habit of just jotting things down. The act of writing actually trains your brain to pay closer attention, and it moves information from your short-term to your long-term memory.
Now, to make your notes really effective, you just follow these 3 steps. First, capture specific facts and sensory details. What did you see, hear, or smell? Second, note your own response. How did that moment make you feel? Emotion is a super powerful memory anchor. And third, ask questions. Always stay curious. This trains your brain to look deeper.
Okay, so once you're observing and collecting all these great details, you need a system to organize them. And this is where it gets really fun. We're going to build a mind palace, which is this incredible memory technique that goes back centuries.
As Holmes himself said, it's absolutely crucial to keep that brain attic neat and orderly. And the Mind Palace isn't just a place to store memories, it's a perfectly organized system for instant recall. So what is it? The Mind Palace, also known as the method of loci, is an incredible technique that dates all the way back to ancient Greece. The story goes that a poet named Simonides was the only survivor of a building collapse, and he was able to identify all the dead just by mentally walking through the banquet hall and remembering where each guest had been sitting. It taps into our brain's incredible spatial memory. You just associate information with specific locations along a familiar route, like the walk through your own house.
Let's try it with a simple grocery list. You link each item to a spot in your house, but here's the real key. You have to make the images absurd and completely outrageous. Picture it. In your driveway, gallons of milk are boiling and spoiling in the hot sun. On your doorstep, a huge mountain of soap suds is climbing up the front door. In the kitchen, bananas are peeling themselves and dancing. The more ridiculous the image, the more it sticks. I guarantee you won't forget that list.
So you've cleared your mind, you're observing details, and you've stored them in your mind palace. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, the art of deduction. This is how you connect all the clues to arrive at those brilliant conclusions.
A key technique Holmes used was reasoning backwards. See, most of us think from cause to effect. A happens, so B is the result. But Holmes would start with the result, the final outcome, and work his way backward to trace the chain of events and uncover the original cause. So why is this so powerful? Well, because it focuses your thinking. On the left, you see that kind of inefficient thinking. It's a tangled mess of possibilities. But reasoning backwards, like you see on the right, gives you a clear path from the problem to the solution. You get one primary hypothesis to investigate, which is an incredibly efficient way to solve problems.
And this, of course, is the guiding principle of it all. This single quote perfectly captures the essence of Sherlock's deductive method. It's all a process of elimination, which leaves you with the truth, no matter how strange it might seem.
But let's be really clear here, this isn't just about playing detective. Mastering focus, observation, and deduction helps you in every single aspect of your life. It leads to better decisions, less stress from all that mental clutter, and a more engaged, aware, and ultimately happier existence.
And this really says it all, doesn't it? The clues, the details, the answers, they're often right there in front of us. We just need to train ourselves to look, to truly observe.
So I'll leave you with this thought. The world is waiting to be discovered, and it's full of obvious things hiding in plain sight. After this, what will you choose to truly observe today?